All right, so hopefully you managed to find the solution. So before we start, let's run a simple query using all the parameters. So I'm going to go for make equals something. So you're going to use fake values for now just to see our query, and model equals something, and equals, and transmission, and min price, and max price. So this will show us what the query is going to look like. So let's go back to our code. So inside the filter method, we're gonna place our check function, which will filter the different cars. So the check function is going to return true or false. So if it's a match, then it's going to be true, otherwise it's going to be false. So let's call this function check. So I'm going to define check right there. So this function will take a car object as a parameter, and it's going to return true or false. So basically, it's going to be true if you've got a match for each of these in the query. So let's start with the make. So the make is going to be a match for that car if the user is looking for Audi. Well, it's going to be a match as well if the user doesn't specify the make at all, isn't it? Right. So what we need to do is return the result of a logical expression. So first, let's check the make. So you're gonna have true if query dot make is not defined, is undefined, right? Or the query dot make is the same as the car dot make. Agree? Perfect. Well, sometimes the user might use capital letters in the values, so we'll just turn this to lowercase. Like that. And the same thing will apply to all the other parameters. So we're checking the make, and the model, the year, the transmission, it's going to be different when it comes to the min price and max price. So either the min price is undefined, or the query min price is less than the car min price. Agree? And we need to make sure that we pass this to an integer using the parseInt function. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing with the max price. Okay. So this is our function. Check. And now the output of this should be the correct cars to display. So for each of those results, we're going to print the car with its details. So for each is going to take a parameter we're going to call car. This is referring to the value of our item. And we're going to run this function, which will write into the body of the response using response.write. Okay, so let's start with a picture. So first, let's have a line break and then an image. We're going to set the source of the image to the URL property of the car, which is car.url. Right. And let's set the height of our picture to something like 200. And let's also set an alt attribute and set that to car, for example. Okay. Let's go for the make. Let's go for the model. Here. Transmission. Okay, did we miss something? And the price. So before testing the code, I'm going to amend a few things. So I need to close the image tag right there. And also, this is supposed to be cars, not car, because we named our cars array cars. And also just bear in mind that these variables like path name, they are actually block scoped there. So we will need to run the full code inside this if statement. So I'm going to copy all that like this. And place it right there. And then formats the code. All right, so perfect. So let's try our code. Or before doing that, we actually turned the query's values to lowercase, but we haven't done that for the car values. So we can either use lowercase for all of them, otherwise we will need to turn them to lowercase as well. So what you need to do, you can just add 2 lowercase to all these. So you don't need that for the year, actually. All right. And by the way, this is supposed to be car.price and car.price. All right, so let's save this and restart our app and try this. So if we try with all cars, we get all cars. So let's try a query. So transmission automatic, for example. So we get only automatic cars. So only one car is automatic. Let's try min price 11,000. So we get only cars with a price greater than 11,000. So let's try max price 10,000. And we don't get any car, even though we've got one car with a price of 10,000. So we can change this one to less than or equal, and that one to greater than or equal. So let's save and restart our app, and let's try again. And this time it works. Okay. So let's try something else. Let's try the year. So let's go for 2018. Great. So let's try two parameters. So let's check cars with a year of 2018, and let's go for a min price of 15,000. And you get only that one. Okay, perfect. So just a quick comment before moving to the next video. This is something that you would do normally using a database. So we've done that in this exercise just to get introduced to the URL module and be able to manipulate URLs, parse them, manipulate queries and their parameters. So it's still a good exercise to start, but we're going to cover databases in detail later on in the course. So in the next video, you're going to get introduced to the file system module, or the FS module, which is another great built-in Node module.